So, no, but does have a point. Maybe it shouldn't be driven by political deadlines so that the results of the review that the State Department is responsible for come out after the election. But maybe it should be driven by wanting to get it out before the election. In fact,
Well,
as soon as possible. I mean, can you commit, or is the department in a position to commit to getting the results of this review into the top secret, into the classified, the one that he's talking about, before there is a general election in this country?
I'm not going to commit to a specific timeline. The secretary wants this review
Okay.
done thoroughly and accurately and efficiently, and he's not going to allow himself or the process or the department to be driven by the political calendar on this. Um, I mean, it, the argument that 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 we should be ever mindful of that, and while I don't agree with the logic, I understand where you're coming from. The counter logic to that would be that we are politicizing what needs to remain a completely apolitical process here. What the American people have a right to know is how these things were handled, and how the State Department has met our obligations in terms of properly preparing these documents for release. There are there's other agencies involved in the review.
Exactly. I don't think no one is questioning that. No
And-
one is, and no one is saying that you should, or the FBI, or the DOJ, or whoever else is doing all these reviews or investigations should, but that they need to be set a deadline. But the fact of the matter is there are deadlines. Today, in fact, is one of those deadlines in the electoral and the political process. And, the judge in the FOIA case set deadlines, some of which you made, some of which you didn't made, but
Right.
you made the last one, which was yesterday, and they're all out. So deadlines, whether they're random or,
Right.
they exist.
Sure
And
they
they
do.
exist in the political calendar as well.
Sure they
So,
do. I'm sure you've never missed a deadline either. Or should I call Wendy? But look,
I'm not.
it's one thing to meet. It's one thing to meet a deadline for the distribution of these documents, which, as you pointed out, sometimes we made it, sometimes we didn't, and
Yeah.
the judge was, the judge
Was not happy.
mandated a subsequent deadline process here for us. But in the case of investigations and
Right.
reviews, it is not always the case that reviews and investigations are given deadlines to be complete. Specifically because you want investigators to have the leeway to look at things as deeply and as thoroughly as they need to.
Which is understandable, but at the same time, you have to deal with the reality of the year that we're in, don't you? I mean, presumably the building, as people in this building who are voters, want to know all of the information that they can before they go into the voting booth, right?
And if you're
So-
worried about being accused of politicizing this issue, you run a greater risk of doing that should you release a report after the election than you would if you did it before. That is an opinion. That's not a question.